Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm J Cartwright, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Deus Ex Mankind Divided. So we're going to start off with some words from the developer, I think. I don't know where these words are from, I just found them on the internet. But yeah, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the sequel to the critically acclaimed Deus Ex Human Revolution, builds on this franchise's trademark choice and consequence action RPG based gameplay to create both a memorable and highly immersive experience. Players will once again take on the role of Adam Jensen, now an experienced covert agent, and will gain access to his new arsenal of customizable state-of-the-art weapons and augmentations. With time working against him, Adam must choose the right approach along with whom to trust in order to unravel a vast worldwide conspiracy. The game also includes Deus Ex Mankind Divided Breach, a new and innovative game mode. No, it's a lie. This new take on the game offers for the very first time an arcade approach on the gameplay of Deus Ex Mankind Divided, providing players with a unique puzzle shooter experience. They're just chatting shit there about Breach. They really trying to, you know, make Breach seem like a feature, but it's not. We'll get into that later. So, first of all, I want to start off with, you know, my experience with Deus Ex. So, when I played Deus Ex Human Revolution, I was initially disappointed. I had never played the Deus Ex game before, but I was excited to play an RPG set in a futuristic world. What I got instead, however, was a first-person stealth game with RPG elements. Now, going full assault seemed like suicide in Human Revolution, and I wasn't ready for that at the time. I totally was not ready for that. Fast forward to 2016 now, I finally finished The Last of Us, and I was looking for another tense stealth experience. So this time I was fully aware that Deus Ex was mainly a first-person stealth game, and after playing great games like Dishonored, I welcomed the new Deus Ex with open arms. So that's basically how I felt when I got into playing this game. I was very excited to play it. But let's get into the story. Let's see if the story stands up to scrutinization. So Deus Ex starts 2 years after the previous game, Human Revolution. The story revolves around the oppression of augmented people, who are people with robotics fused into their body or brain. And it also revolves around an Illuminati plot that finally reveals its true goal after the credits rolled, which is fucking annoying. The thing about the big Illuminati conspiracy, though, is that their goal wasn't made very clear at all, and I really didn't understand why these plans were being put into place until the very end. Now, I like to figure things out, and I love twists when it comes to stories, but looking back, there was no real opportunity to figure out what was going on myself, and the twist at the end comes so far from left field and creates a fair few plot holes that it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it in the end. So the main story isn't awful, but it isn't great. It's mediocre, and the ending left me unsatisfied because it seemed like the purpose of the story and the ending was to set up a sequel, not to deliver a complete experience. And the story does give you some reason to get acquainted with the real star of the game, however, which is the gameplay. So, luckily, the side missions had much better stories, simply because they were contained, interesting stories that didn't fall victim to the need to set up a sequel. The bad things about the side missions, though, is that they weren't very easy to find. There were no indicators on the map to let you know where to find them. You just had to stumble across them, and from time to time you'd be given side missions directly, which was cool. But I wish they gave us an easier way to find the other side missions tucked away in the game. The gameplay. Gameplay in Deus Ex Mankind Divided generally focuses around first-person stealth. You do have the freedom of playing the game how you want to. You can be an aggressive super soldier, or you can complete objectives and disappear like you was never there. Since I was itching for another stealth experience, I played that way, you know, sneaking through vents, taking people out quietly, but sometimes things went pear-shaped, and I handled those situations like a boss and put all my, you know, weapons to use and got it cracking. Most of the side objectives do encourage stealthy play, but they are entirely optional, and if you are spotted or go on a rampage, as long as you can survive, you can generally complete the mission. Like, I never got arrested or anything. I never got dissed by Interpol for shooting police officers. Like, I think that's kind of wild, but yeah, it seems like you can do anything as long as you don't die. So I didn't find myself using everything I had at my disposal though. I played the game on the normal difficulty, and it didn't really force me to use my abilities. I was pretty cool just moving from cover to cover for the most part, sniping and taking down a few guards and shuffling through vents. There were a few essential abilities like hacking, remote hacking, and having the strength to move fridges. However, these abilities allowed me to get into most places and approach my objective from wherever was needed. The combat abilities seemed cool, but I focused on stealth for my playthrough, so those abilities weren't all that useful. You also spend a bunch of time having conversations with people using a dialogue system that Bethesda should definitely take note of. See, the preview text under every dialogue choice makes sure that you know exactly what you're going to say. There are no guessing games here whatsoever. You can also lose yourself in exploring the city of Prague. There are numerous secret stashes, flats to break into, and a bunch of environmental storytelling for you to sink your teeth into. There were a few bugs in the game, but nothing game breaking. For example, at one point I was dragging a guard's body and then it teleported into the ceiling and started jittering around like a creature out of a horror movie, but I didn't experience any crashes or anything like that, luckily. The controls took a little getting used to, but by the end of the game, I was pulling off feats befitting a super agent very smoothly. Pressing the triangle button to run is one of the weirdest control choices I have ever come across. But seeing as I almost never ran when in a combat situation, the awkward placement of the sprint button didn't cause too many problems. Now, graphics. So, the lip syncing in this game is atrocious, like really, really bad. For a AAA game, this is a joke. It seems like no care was put into the lip syncing at all. The character models look okay. Adam Jensen looks pretty cool, but this game has terrible frame rate issues. I never ever care when people talk about frame rates in games and that sort of stuff, but wow. This game stutters like crazy. Luckily, it only happened while I was running around the city. I never experienced any stutters or frame rate drops in combat, but still, it was very annoying to say the least. So, features. As for new features, the basics from Human Revolution are still here with additional abilities. Probably the most important addition is the ability to take cover and move between cover. This makes the stealth aspect of the game much better to play. Other than that, this is basically Human Revolution refined a little. If you liked Human Revolution, you'll probably like this. So, modes. Now, they did add a mode called Breach Mode, which they did talk about in that press release statement, which basically takes a mission from the main game that was okay to play through once. Okay, it wasn't great, it wasn't the best mission, it was okay to play through once, and it gives you the chance to play through that mission multiple times with different variations on the map layout for no reason, like no real reason other than to waste your time. I mean, you could sink hours into this mode just to upgrade your weapons and abilities so you can sink more hours into this mode, but it's so boring. There really is no point. So, is it worth the price? Now, this is a fully AAA priced game. It's £45 to £50. If you're buying it with American dollars, it'll be like $60 or something like that. Now, I bought it digitally for $49.99 from the PSN store. And this is the first time I've ever bought a digital game, because it's £5 more than it usually costs, and it's just like, I just don't believe it should be that expensive. But I bought it because I was really excited to play it, and I really wanted a stealth game, and I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna get it. And I had a good time. I had a very good time. The main story isn't super lengthy, but if you explore and do a bunch of side missions, you'll find yourself sinking a fair few hours into this game. And I completed the game in about a week, and if I was the type to replay games, I'm sure I'd be interested to check out the choices that I didn't make, but I'm not really that type of guy, to be honest. I'd say the game was worth the price, as long as you do side missions and explore. If you just want to play the side missions, then I wouldn't say to pick this up for more than £30, to be honest. I mean, if you just want to play the main missions, not if you just want to play the side missions. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Also, thanks for liking and subscribing. Let me know what you thought of Deus Ex Mankind Divided in the comment section below. And if you want to check out the rest of my reviews, you can click on the playlist on the screen, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long, so all this warmth I share with you.